I had decided to go to a school camp last summer when I experienced these events at night. I woke up at night to go to the camp toilet. It was not far. I could see it from our tent. There was no one around on the way back. I saw a man shining a torch next to the boys' tent to reveal shadows, and I didn't recognize him. When he saw me approach, he put down his torch and left, but somehow hovered around the campsite. I thought he was camp security and I would get in trouble for leaving my tent overnight and being an anxious kid. He kept me up all night. As I could not sleep, I noticed for a good hour that the man was still walking, shining his torch beside the tents. I could hear him and see the light. In the morning, I fell asleep during breakfast and my friends were upset about this. One of the teachers noticed and thought I was getting sick, so he came over to ask me if I was okay, and I said I had been up all night because the camp guard was shining his torch on the tents. He looked horrified and said, "Which camp security?" and went to tell one of the male teachers. It turned out that the camp was unsecured and the police were called. A man known as a sex offender in the area had recently been released from prison and was living in a tent in the nearby forest. 55-year-old Natalia Pasternak and her friend prepared a small shelter in a forest area in Siberia to spend their summer for a few days. At night, they woke up to the sound of an animal snoring, and after tearing their tent with big claws, they noticed the presence of a brown bear. After the tent was torn, the bear first attacked Natalie's friend and pulled her with its claws, and then went towards Natalie and injured her as well. Natalie's attempt to escape from the hand of the bear that was eating her friend was unsuccessful. Finally, she landed on her leg and stomach with deep injuries. To store his food, the brown bear buried half of Natalie's half-naked body under leaves and dirt. Natalie was desperately trying to save her life by screaming. These efforts continued until a hunter who was searching for a brown bear managed to find the injured Natalie. According to the hunter, at first, my little dog noticed Natalie's weak voice and was able to save her after long captivity in the hands of a brown bear. This brown bear was finally killed by a hunter's bullet. Natalie, who was unable to speak due to fear, was able to return to her normal condition after 5 weeks, and the marks caused by the brown bear's wounds are still visible in her body. According to reporters, everyone is waiting for Natalie to tell everyone a scary story about a night in the forest after her full recovery. 22-year-old Yassi Ginsburg left 2 years of service in the Israeli army and decided to go on a solo adventure in South America in the summer of the same year. Along the way, he traveled with 3 other people, and the 4 of them embarked on a terrifying journey through the Bolivian rainforest. Little by little, these young men got tired and hungry and, of course, hopelessly lost their way. The tension between the group members rose and caused them to separate into 2 separate groups. To make matters worse, Ginsburg and his friend's boat fell from a waterfall, and in this way, they were separated from each other. Now hopeless and desperate, he was not only lost, but somewhere in the middle of the Amazon, he was completely alone. He survived encounters with a leopard, fire ants, poisonous snakes, and many other beasts. His companion also got out of the waterfall safely and was looking for his missing friend on a Bolivian boat. After being somewhat disappointed to find him, the search team decided to return. As they aimlessly cruised around the Amazon with their boat, they saw Ginsburg lying unconscious in a corner completely by accident. Later, he told his horror story in a book called Lost in the Woods, which also sold very well. Unfortunately, their other 2 companions were never found and are believed not to have survived. Teenagers from Indiana who had traveled to Panama City, Florida. Like many other fun-loving tourists, they thought they were in for a wild skydive. The wind is blowing strongly. That's why the skydiving guide was trying to bring them to a safer and lower place. But the rope broke once and these girls floated in the air like a feather dancing in the wind. Everyone who witnessed this scene looked on in horror at the sight of 2 girls going straight to crash into a building. They hit a balcony and bounced toward another building. Then they fell on the power lines and broke the windshield of a car while landing and fell into a parking lot. Sidney's back vertebrae cracked and the impact on his brain caused permanent visual impairment. Alex also suffered serious back and head injuries and lacerations. This incident led to a serious protest against the problem of guaranteeing security from the companies providing such sports.